The streets of New Avalon were quiet that night, quieter than usual. A fog had rolled in from the river, wrapping the neon-lit alleys in a haze of blue and pink glow. I had just left work late, cutting across the older district on my way to the SkyTram station. Most people avoided that area after dark. Too many shadows, too many rumors of disappearances, but I'd grown up in New Avalon. The back streets never scared me. What did stop me, however, was the sound of a mew. First I thought I was imagining it. But then I heard it again, high-pitched, desperate. Following the sound, I found a small cat wedged between two dumpsters in a narrow alley. Its fur was soaked, its paws muddy, and its big golden eyes stared up at me like I was its last hope. "Hey, little guy," I whispered, crouching down. "You picked the wrong street to get lost in." It hissed at me weakly, then let out another pitiful mew. The cat's leg was twisted beneath it, clearly broken. My gut twisted. I knew I couldn't just leave it there, but I also didn't have anything on me to help. Sighing, I took off my jacket, carefully wrapped the cat, and held it close to my chest. "I'll get you some help," I muttered. That should have been the end of it. Just a random act of kindness in a forgotten alley. But it wasn't, because the moment I stepped back out into the street, someone was waiting for me. She stood tall, too tall for a normal woman, her silver hair glimmering under the neon signs. Her skin had an almost iridescent sheen, and her eyes, large, luminous, and shifting between violet and green, fixed on me like she had been watching for a long time. She wore a cloak that shimmered like liquid metal. "You picked it up," she said softly, her voice melodic but layered, as though more than one person was speaking at once. "Ah." I tightened my hold on the cat. "Yeah." It was hurt. She tilted her head, studying me. Then she smiled, not warm, not cold, but knowing. "That was your test." And blinked. "Test? What are you talking about?" The woman stepped closer, her cloak whispering against the pavement, though her feet seemed to make no sound. "You've been observed. And now chosen." The cat in my arms purred weakly, like it approved of her words. My pulse quickened. Something about her presence told me this was no mugger or local eccentric. She wasn't human. Middle. Her name, she said, was Lysara, and she was not from Earth. We sat in an abandoned cafe, the cat bundled in my jacket between us. The place had been closed for years, but Lysara moved through it like she had the right to be there. She explained in calm, measured tones that her people had been observing humanity for centuries, assessing whether we were worth alliance, preservation, or eradication. "Your species," she said, her glowing eyes narrowing slightly, "is dangerous. You are clever, ambitious, but reckless. You build weapons before you master peace. You devour resources before you understand balance. Many among my kind argue that you must be corrected." "Corrected," I repeated slowly. "You mean wiped out?" Her silence was answer enough. "Then why are you here talking to me?" She leaned closer, and though her features were alien, there was an intensity in her gaze that felt almost human. "Because others among us argue differently. They believe in the potential of your kind, that there are sparks of something greater in you. We search for evidence of that potential. In small things." I frowned. "Like helping a stray cat." "Yes," Lysara said simply. "Compassion with no expectation of reward. Kindness when no one is watching. It is not your wars or your victories that interest us. It is the quiet choices." I sat back stunned. My whole life I'd felt insignificant, just another face in the city crowd, working a job that barely paid rent, living day to day without making a difference. And now this alien woman was telling me my decision to save a cat might decide humanity's future. That's insane, I muttered. Perhaps. But it is how we measure. And you passed. Her words hung in the air like a verdict. I looked down at the cat, who was now sleeping peacefully in my jacket. My chest tightened. I had acted on instinct, nothing more. But to her that instinct meant everything. Why me? Asked finally. There are millions of people on this planet. Why pick me? Lysara's lips curved slightly. Because you acted when others would have walked past. The test was simple. Few pass it. Her words sent a chill down my spine. Then she said something that made my world spin. Now, you must decide whether you will represent your species. Represent. She rose, her cloak shifting like starlight. Come with me. See what lies beyond. And when the time comes, speak for your people. The night blurred into a sequence of impossibilities. Lysara led me through hidden passages I never knew existed, down into the old tunnels beneath New Avalon. At their end waited a ship, sleek and organic-looking, pulsing faintly with light as if alive. The cat, of course, came with us. When the ship lifted off, I pressed my face to the viewport, watching the city shrink below. The curvature of Earth soon followed, and then stars. More stars than I had ever seen, glittering like a sea of fire. My breath caught in my throat. Lysara watched me quietly, almost amused. You've never left your world, yet your spirit has always looked upward. I see it in your eyes. We traveled not just across space, but through folds. Reality bent around us, and suddenly we were in the orbit of a planet that shimmered with auroras across its atmosphere. Vast crystal spires jutted up from its surface, glinting like diamond mountains. Ships like living creatures soared through its skies. This is Varith, Lysara said. Home of my people. On the surface, I was led into halls of glass and light, where towering figures like Lysara regarded me with unreadable expressions. Some looked curious. Others looked disdainful. I was acutely aware of how small I was among them. Finally, in a great chamber, Lysara presented me. This human, she declared, her voice echoing, acted with compassion when tested. He represents the possibility of his kind. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. One alien stepped forward, eyes burning with skepticism. One act, one creature. And you would claim this proves their worth. Lysara's gaze never wavered. It proves enough. One spark is all it takes to light a fire. Then all eyes turned to me. My mouth went dry. What could I say to beings who could erase us with a thought? Who saw us as children playing with matches in a dry forest? I thought of the cat in my arms. Small, fragile, helpless. And yet I hadn't hesitated to help. Not because it would change the world, but because it was right. So I said, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, big ones. But we also try. We care. We protect what we can. If you judge us only by our worst, you'll never see our best. And if you give us a chance, we'll prove it. The chamber fell silent. My words sounded small, even to me. But Lysara's eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment, I thought I saw approval in the faces around me. Ending. I don't know if my speech changed anything that day. The council of Lysara's people debated long into the night. In the end, they didn't promise salvation or destruction, only observation. Humanity's fate was still uncertain, but perhaps, just perhaps, the scales had tipped.